that the first you heard of it?
Terence Crawford, great fighter. I like very huge respect to him. I think so. He's the best pound for pound fighter. But if he will move up, like he can beat Canelo.
You think so?
Yeah. But I don't know how he will be comfortable.
Terence Crawford has received another warning as his fight with Canelo Alvarez draws closer and becomes increasingly realistic. More and more boxing professionals are urging him to reconsider, believing it's a dangerous move for Crawford to pursue a challenge that may not be his to take. Despite their concerns, they can only hope he listens. The former undisputed world welterweight champion, however, is determined to go all in, aiming to prove himself as one of the greatest fighters of this generation. Tyson Fury may not be the best person to advise Terence Crawford right now, especially after losing to someone 50 lbs lighter just weeks ago. However, speaking to TNT Sports, the former two-time world heavyweight champion agreed that weight was a key factor in Crawford's recent loss. Fury also gave Crawford a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez had they fought in a lower division years ago, but he backed the Mexican boxer in a potential super middleweight showdown. Fury believes the fight would take place at 168 lbs, where he would favor Canelo. However, at 40, he would back Crawford. Ultimately, Fury predicts a win for Canelo. Canelo has categorically ruled out dropping any weight, which aligns with Bud's goal of testing himself to the limit by moving all the way up to 168 lbs, 4 more than his last outing. Whether or not the fight can be made remains to be seen, with the American being much more eager. However, the Mexican boxer admits he would take the fight for the right price. The significant weight disparity has become a point of contention in the boxing community, and Mike Tyson shares this sentiment. Who knows? That smile tells me something else, bro. I think it might be on the line. No, just saying, man, we can't say it's not gonna happen, and we can't say that it is. This was explained on the Kamian Talk to Me podcast on September 20th. Crawford had a close fight with his last opponent, Israil Madrimov, who was big and awkward. He shouldn't have even fought that guy, Tyson said. Tyson makes a valid point, as Crawford faced one of his toughest challenges against the undefeated Madrimov, who was much bigger and more awkward. Despite being 5'8", taller than Canelo, Crawford has a lean frame and might sacrifice strength and mass in higher weight classes. Still, Crawford believes he knows what's best for his body. I think the key is knowing when it's the right time for your body to move up in a healthy way, Crawford told Yahoo Sports. Before facing Madrimov, he explained, I moved up in weight because I wanted to fight the best in the division. No one can match the ambition of a professional fighter, and Crawford might soon have the chance to aim for all-time greatness against Canelo. The weight difference, however, could only strengthen his legacy if he secures a victory, especially after a close fight with his last opponent. Brian McIntyre, Crawford's trainer, stated that the fight is scheduled to take place during Canelo Alvarez's 2 favorite fighting seasons, Cinco de Mayo weekend or Mexican Independence weekend. Crawford's trainer, Brian McIntyre, revealed that plans are already underway to ensure the fight takes place around Cinco de Mayo. Efforts are being made by all parties involved to make the fight happen, allowing both fighters to earn substantial purses and deliver. The major matchup fans are eager to see. McIntyre, who has guided Crawford to world titles in 4 weight divisions, will be aiming to lead him into a fight with Canelo.
He had a close fight with the last guy he fought, Terence, because this guy was big and he was awkward. He was really awkward. He shouldn't have fought that guy. He should have fought a guy that would just come straight at him.
Crawford defeated Israil Madrimov to claim the 154-pound title and is now targeting a showdown with Mexican icon Canelo Alvarez. While Crawford has achieved many significant milestones in boxing, a win over Canelo would be his greatest accomplishment. The super middleweight champion has only lost twice, once to Dimitri Bivol and once to Floyd Mayweather. McIntyre plans to study Bivol's fight closely if a bout with Canelo happens. He made him move his feet, McIntyre said about Canelo versus Bivol when speaking on the Luke Thomas YouTube channel. That's the fight I would go back and watch. Many believe Crawford's name is on a short list for a potential fight with Canelo Alvarez following months of media coverage about the matchup. Crawford has shown persistence in pursuing the fight, even willing to move up 2 weight classes to prove his dominance. Fully aware of the physical disadvantage he faces against Canelo, Crawford acknowledges that size will be a crucial factor. However, he remains confident in his ability to overcome this challenge and implement his boxing style. Some analysts have expressed doubt about Crawford's ability to compete at super middleweight, partly due to his most recent performance, a points win over Israel Madrimov at super welterweight, that lacked the dominant display many had expected. Despite concerns, the potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has captured the imagination of boxing fans. The combination of power, speed, technique, and charisma from both fighters sets the stage for what could be an unforgettable spectacle. Canelo has made it a tradition to fight twice a year, in May and September, with the latter coinciding with Mexico's Independence Day weekend. Since 2022, he has consistently scheduled fights in these months, and it's expected he will do so again. This makes the question of his next opponent even more intriguing, especially considering the lack of interest in facing David Benavidez, the mandatory WBC 168-pound challenger. As a result, Crawford appears to be a strong candidate for Canelo's first fight of the year. Although the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford seems more media-driven than competitive, as Crawford fights at 154 pounds, 2 weight classes below Canelo's division, both Crawford and his trainer Brian McIntyre are trying to convince Alvarez to accept the matchup. Crawford is reportedly asking for $150 million for the fight. Given the potential lack of competitiveness in a Crawford matchup and Canelo's evasiveness toward facing David Benavidez at 168 pounds,
hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. It's real simple. Real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say it.
Canelo could have other intriguing options for 2025. One name being mentioned is Christian Mbili, a 29-year-old Frenchman with an undefeated 28-0 record. In his last fight, he defeated Sergey Derevianchenko in August, making him a potential contender for the WBC title. One possibility that was ruled out in September was William Scully, the 23-0 IBF challenger, whose bid to face Canelo Alvarez was blocked after the Mexican fighter refused to fight the Cuban. This led to Canelo losing his undisputed status and being stripped of his world title. Boxing News has suggested a couple of natural super middleweight challengers for Canelo, including Diego Pacho. The 23-year-old, with a record of 22-0 and 18 knockouts, is a contender for both the WBC and WBO titles. However,
Still waiting for that second fight to happen. I don't know, man. I don't know. They still got to work things out and see where they go from there. I know it's Tuesday before the run out there as an opponent. What do you want Crawford to do?
Pacho's next fight is scheduled for January 25th against Steven Nelson, 20-0 in Las Vegas. Another potential opponent is Cuban fighter Osley the Furt, 13-0, 12 KOs, a 27-year-old rising star making his mark with the International Boxing Organization as a Canelo Alvarez waits for an official date and opponent to be confirmed. It seems there are few options left, unless a rematch with John and Mongu is on the horizon. However, that seems unlikely after Mongu lost to Brandon Solis, making a rematch difficult to pursue. For now, all the buzz surrounding Canelo's next opponent appears to be based on rumors, with the potential fight against Terence Crawford standing out as the most concrete and realistic option. Despite the lack of official confirmation, the excitement surrounding the fight is palpable. Hours after the rumors began circulating, Boxing Insider and ES News founder Elek also hinted that this showdown could be the biggest event Las Vegas has ever witnessed. While details remain scarce, anticipation continues to build as fans eagerly await confirmation. In the meantime, we turn to AI, specifically ChatGPT-4, to predict how a battle between Crawford and Canelo would unfold. Here's what it had to say.